Hello girls, I hope you all are doing good. So now in your business regulation, we will be doing your last chapter in order to complete your portions. That is unit 5, that is environmental law and cyber laws. Okay. Under this, you have the following topics as per your particular syllabus, and we will be covering these particular topics in your video. Now to begin with, we will be starting with your first half of the topic, that is talking about environmental law. So to start off, you have various definitions regarding your environmental law. That is, you have a definition of environment. Now, what is environment? The definition includes environment includes water, air, and land, and the interrelationship which exists between air, water, and land, and human beings, other living creatures, plants, microorganisms, and property. Okay, it is talking about the interrelationship which is existing between land, water, air, human beings, and all the living creatures. Okay, that is definition of environment, and all of these definitions are really important because it will be asked in your exam, and it is also there, it is a part of your syllabus. So you have definitions of various important terms. Okay, next you have environment pollutant. Environment pollutant means any solid or gaseous substance present in sub concentration as may be or tend to be injurious to the environment. Okay, something it could be anything which is either solid or gaseous substance which is present in any concentration which is causing harm to the environment and causing pollution to the environment. Okay, next is environment pollution. Okay, what is environmental pollution? It means the presence in the environment of any environmental pollution. Okay, whatever pollution is there in the environment, it could be noise pollution, or it could be water pollution. All of these pollutions are constituting towards the environment, right? So any pollution in the environment is known as environmental pollution. Next you have handling. Handling is not part of your definitions. Okay, then you have hazardous substance. Okay, now in your hazardous substance, okay, you have hazardous substance. Hazardous substance means any substance or preparation which by any reason of its chemical or psychochemical property, okay, chemical properties or handling is liable to cause harm to human beings or other living creatures, plants, microorganism, property of the environment. Okay, basically hazardous substance means any substance which is actually very dangerous, which can cause harm to the living creatures or to the human beings or to the environment at large. Next you have occupier. Occupier in relation to any factory or premises means a person who has control over the affairs of the factory or the premises, and includes in relation to any subject the person in possession of the substance. Okay, occupier basically means a particular person who's appointed, okay, who has taken charge of the affairs of the factory. Maybe it could be maintenance of materials, or it could be in charge of power switching on and owning or offing lights. They are responsible for the factory premises. Factory premises mean the working area of the factory. Okay, that is occupier. Next is prescribed. What is prescribed? Prescribed means prescribed by rules made under the act. It means it is as per. Prescribed means as per the rules and regulations. Okay, prescribed means as per. So these were your important terms and definitions. Now next you have the scope of the act. The basically Environment Protection Act is the act may be called as Environment Protection Act of 1986. Okay, and this act extends to the whole of India, and it shall come into force on such day as central government may be by notification in the official gazette. Official gazette means the official notification letter. Okay, appoint the and different dates may be appointed for different provisions of this act and for different areas. Different areas will have this particular act which will be imposed as per the government of India. Next you have the objectives of the act. Okay, objectives of the Environmental Protection Act. First objective is conferring powers on the central government too. Firstly, you will have to, wherever explanation is required, I will be explaining it because this chapter is very self-explanatory and a very general chapter. Okay, it is talking mostly about environment. First, it is basically talking about conferring powers on central government. Two, now the central government has to take necessary measures for protecting the quality of the environment, to coordinate actions of state officers and other authorities under this particular act. You have various officers like in charge of water, drainage, sewage. You have your health ministers and all of that, right? Basically all of these authorities will come under this particular act. Okay, plan and execute a nationwide program for prevention, control, and abatement of the environmental pollution. Then lay down standards for discharge of environmental pollutants. Okay, you have to lay down certain standards, like for factory and all of that. Factories are set up outside the outside Bangalore and all of that, right? Why? Because they do not want to, they are set up in a way in such places where there is no much human activity, they are set up in outside the borders of a particular city, right? So that is why they have various standards because of controlling pollutants in the environment. Next, you have empower any person to enter, inspect, take samples and test, establish or recognize environmental laboratories, okay, appoint or recognize government analyst. Now why you're doing all of this is basically to take control of the environment, to avoid any sorts of pollution in the environment, okay. Restrict areas in which any industry, operation or process may be carried out subject to certain safeguards, okay. Unless you are not exhibiting certain dangerous pollutants in the environment, then you can carry out your industry in a particular area where human activity is going on. But if you are in a very if you have any hazardous substance which you're producing and all of that, then you have to not it should not be conducted where any human activity is there. Then lay down procedures and safeguard for handling hazardous substance, constitute an authority for exercising all of these environmental laws, okay. After which you have issued directions to any person, officer or authority including the power to take direct disclosure or prohibition of regulatory of any industry. If certain industry is producing any hazardous substance and it is located within the city limits, okay, then the officer should take necessary action. Then require any person, officer to or authority to furnish the prescribed information. Delegate powers means give roles and responsibilities to the officers or state authority. Your the second main objective is it confers on powers to complain to court regarding any violation of provisions of the act after a notice of 60 days to the prescribed authorities, okay. In case if there is any violation of the Environmental Pollution Act, if you see any industry who's polluting the environment, then they can immediately notify the government within 60 days, okay. Any person can complain to the officer within 60 days. Then next main objective is the act makes it obligatory for the person in charge of place to inform the prescribed authorities regarding any accidental discharge of any pollutant in excess prescribed standard. The concerned authority, on receiving such information, shall take remedial measures to mitigate pollution caused by accidents and expenses incurred by the authorities, okay. Basically what it is trying to say is, basically if you have an industry and if the industry is located near any river or anything as such, and they are discharging all the hazardous substances into the river, okay. So if there is any person who's noticed all of this, they can immediately go and complain to the authority. That authority will take immediate action towards this particular industry and they will try to reduce the pollution, and they will also, that particular industry will be responsible to pay a certain amount of fine for polluting the environment, okay. Then fourth main objective is it prescribes stringent penalties for violation of the act. If you are going anything against environmental pollution, if you're polluting the environment, then you will have to pay a penalty means fine, okay. Next, the jurisdiction of civil courts is barred under the act. Whatever jurisdiction is there, it is barred under this particular act. Next, you have the meaning of environmental pollutant. Now, what is environmental pollutant? Environmental pollutant is defined, okay, it is defined as any substance or contamination which is introduced in environment, okay. Any sort of contamination means any sort of hazardous substance which is released in the environment, okay. Contamination introduced in the environment that has this contamination in the environment has adverse effect on it. A pollutant may cause long or short damage by intervening in the human amenities, comfort, health, okay. Because of this contamination, it could because of that, it could harm human health, or it could harm the animals. It could be a risk to the plants or all of that if it is causing any harm to the environment. It could take the form of chemical substances or such as noise, heat and light. So this is known as environmental pollutant, okay. These definitions are very important. It will be asked in the exams, okay. Next, you have classification of your environmental pollutant. Classification of environmental pollutant is classified as degradable, okay, slowly degradable and degradable. Under degradable or non-persistent, you have example domestic sewage, discarded vegetables, okay. Then slowly degradable or persistent pollutant, you have pesticides and plastic is something which is slowly degrading, okay. Next is non-degradable is toxic elements, lead like mercury, nuclear waste. Then all of these are the classification as to how you're going to classify the pollutants. Next, you have the meaning of environmental pollution. The meaning of environmental pollution is basically, it is environmental pollution is the geographical meaning of environment is as follows, whereas environmental pollution, okay, Whereas the term word environment is derived from the French word environner, which means to encircle or to surround. The most suitable definition of environment. Okay, it is the sum total of water, air, land. We've already looked into your previous topic. Sum total of water, air, land, and interrelationship that exist with the human beings and other living organisms or materials. Then you also have a geographical meaning of environment, which says it is a combination of living and non-living things and their mutual interaction with each other, which leads to ecosystem. Okay, then again, as per the definition of Supreme Court, you have the definition of environment, which says environment is a difficult word to define. Its normal meaning relates to the surroundings, but obviously that is a concept which is relatable to whatever object it is, which is surrounded. Environment polycentric and multifaceted problem affecting the human existence. Then you also have the term pollution. What is pollution? The term pollution refers to unfavorable alteration. Okay, unfavorable alteration to surroundings, wholly or largely as a term by product of human actions as through direct. Okay, human is using all of these ingredients, all of these pollutants in order to pollute the environment. That is known as pollution. Your pollution could be a noise pollution, water pollution, land, air, water. It could be various types of pollution. Okay, now you will be looking into your next topic, that is types of environmental pollution. Now what is the types of environmental pollution? You first have water pollution. What is water pollution? That is, you are contaminating the water body, is known as water pollution. It could be polluting your lakes, rivers, etc. Suppose if you're taking oil in a boat, okay, and the oil starts spilling in the water, so that is known as water pollution. You are contaminating the water, that is known as water pollution. Or suppose if you're throwing plastic into the water, if you're throwing garbage into the water, that is known as polluting the water, and that is known as polluted water pollution. Okay, next you have air pollution. So after your water pollution, you have your air pollution. What is air pollution? Contaminating the air, right? Because of various gases. It could be because of petrol. It could be because of various gases like nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and all of this which you are releasing into the atmosphere. Various chemicals. It could be, you can see the diagrammatic representation here. It could be because of the various chemicals which are released into the air. Okay, you have major sources of air pollution, that is industry emission. Okay, whatever industrial waste is going out in the environment, okay, into the air. Then you have vehicle emission, but that is petrol, because of petrol. Then domestic emission, you have various other air pollution, various other things which are causing air pollution. Suppose if you're letting out the garbage is creating smoke is nothing but again going into the air, which is causing air pollution. This is known as air pollutant, wherein you're contaminating the air. Okay, you have certain important air pollutants. You have carbon monoxide, you have carbon dioxide, you have nitrogen oxide, and you have hydrocarbons and particulate matter. You don't have to go anything in depth with all of this. You just have to remember what are the most important air pollutants. Next, you have noise pollution. Now, what is noise pollution? Something noise. The word noise is originated from the Latin word nausea, which means seasickness. Noise in any unwanted sound that disrupts the environmental equilibrium. It could be, example, bursting of crackers. It could be because of the loud music. It could be because of loud music. It could be because of the aircraft. It could be because of using of machinery, drill guns, etc. That is contaminating again the environment through noise. Okay, that is through noise. That is bikes which create sound and all of that, which is causing an unpleasing sound, is known as noise pollution. Now, noise pollution can have adverse effects on the human health. It could be because of, you could lose your hearing. Okay, you could use your hearing. It could cause vascular health effects. It could decrease in the efficiency of concentration, increase in blood pressure, increase in stress level. This is usually happening in people, okay, because of various things in the noise pollution. Next, you have land pollution. Now, what is land pollution? Where you throw waste on the earth, that is, you're dumping garbage. Okay, you're contaminating the land by dumping garbage. You're throwing petrol, you're leaking petrol, you're throwing plastic, you're throwing all unhygienic waste. Okay, throwing of unhygienic waste on earth. Okay, you're throwing it on land. That is known as land pollution. Next, you have solid waste pollution. What is solid waste pollution? Solid waste pollution is wherein you are, what you're doing is you are throwing the waste materials that are not needed to you, that is uneconomically, unusable without any further processing. Okay, that is solid waste. You're throwing off solid waste, like it could be plastic, it could be metals, it could be waste, it could be wood, it could be glass, paper. Again, it is similar to your land pollution, wherein you're throwing solid substances which will not easily degrade themselves immediately. Okay, next you have food pollution, that is contaminating of food, that is adulteration of food. Suppose in milk they mix paint and all of that, that is which is again harming the human health. Okay, that is again harming the human health, wherein you're adulterating the food, that is known as food pollution. Okay, next you have thermal pollution. Now, what is thermal pollution? It is something related to your temperature. Okay, temperature plays an important role in determining the conditions in which living organisms can survive. Suppose for example, you had the temperature in Delhi and all of that, there was a lot of fog and all of that because of the too much of air pollution, right? So thermal pollution will check what is the heat balance, which is known as, okay, temperature plays an important role in determining the conditions in which living organism can survive. Any undesirable harmful change in the natural temperature, now see, we have a Bangalore natural climate, but if you see any undesirable change, if you see anything which is harmful in the existing normal temperature that is disturbing the natural heat balance of the surrounding, is known as thermal pollution. Okay, something which is unusual, something which is disturbing the environment, is known as thermal pollution. After which you have your nuclear radioactive. Now nuclear radioactive is nothing but pollution. One of the most important and dangerous type of pollution is known as nuclear pollution. Okay, nuclear pollution. Now nuclear pollution, it could be because of the bursting of bombs and nuclear explosion. It could be because of the bombing or anything as such, because of which you are releasing any nuclear sorts of atomic bombings. Okay, for example, you have Hiroshima atomic bombings. You are releasing any harmful substance into the air, because of which it is causing a lot of damage to the human activity, that is known as nuclear radioactive pollution. Okay, this is so these were the types of pollution, that is your water, air, land, noise. Then you had your solid waste, you had your food pollution, thermal pollution, and nuclear pollution. Okay, these were the types of pollution. Your next topic is powers of the central government to take measures to protect and improve the environment. Okay, now your various powers that the government has to take is subject to the provision of this act. The central government shall have the power to take all such measures that is necessary in order to protect the environment. Now in particular, with the prejudice, the generality of the powers of the subsection 1 measures the following things. What are the following matters that the government has to look into? That is coordination of actions by the state government officers and other authorities under this act or the rules made by the. Okay, now you have various acts and rules which are brought into execution. Okay, you will have to read and understand the following points. That is basically, you have to coordinate with all the officers and check what are the various things that are affecting the environment and how the environment is getting polluted. Then you have to plan and execute. You have to check what are the matters that you have to look into. Then next, after which you have to plan and execute a program for prevention and control of abatement of environmental pollution. Abatement means control of environmental pollution. After which, see, firstly you are checking what are the firstly you are appointing various officers, after which you are checking, after which what you're doing, you're checking the following matters as to what you have to look into. Third, you are planning a particular program as to how you need to control an environmental pollution, after which you are laying down standards. That means you are implementing various standards as to how you have to control the environmental pollution. After laying down the particular standards, you have to also check what are the various pollutants that are discharged into the environment. Okay, now after checking all of that, you have to restrict certain areas. Suppose if there is a lot of human living, okay, and there are also industries located, and those particular industries are causing any damage to the human health, then you have to take necessary actions and you have to restrict the industrial operations in those particular areas. Then you have to lay down procedures, rules and regulations and procedures to avoid any sort of accidents which may cause environmental pollution. Suppose for example, you have immediate breakage. Okay, suppose if an industry is located near a river and you have a breakage of a pipe and all of the waste moves into the river, so you have to avoid such accidents. Then you also have to lay down various procedures for handling hazardous substances, like if you're dealing with chemicals or if you're dealing with petrol and all of that, then you have to lay down necessary safeguarding procedures as to how you need to handle when it is relating to those particular substances. Then you have to examine your manufacturing process, then carry out a sponsoring investigation. You have to go to each and every industry and you have to carry out investigation to see that they are not involved in any other wrong activity and they're not polluting the environment. Then you have to check the premise of the plant as to how the machinery is located and what are the necessary steps to that have to be taken in order to prevent the environmental pollution. Okay, then you have to establish various environmental laboratories to check how much environmental pollution is there and how you have to bring down the environmental pollution. Then you have to collect and disseminate information. You have to collect various information regarding the environmental pollution, and you have to take necessary measures in order to reduce the environmental pollution. Okay, you have to prepare reports on the particular environmental pollution, like how the environmental pollution has decreased in a particular period of time, or whether there is an increase in the environmental pollution, what are the necessary steps that you can take in order to avoid this particular pollution. Okay, then you have to discuss all of these matters with the central government and take necessary necessary action regarding the implementation of the provisions of the particular act. Okay, your second main power of the central government is basically, it says the central government may, if it considers the central government may, if it considers it necessary or expedient to do so or purpose of this particular act, by order published in the official gazette. Okay, what they can do is basically they can make necessary rules and regulations, they can come up with their own procedures, and they can publish in the official gazette saying these are the industrial precautions that the industry has to take, and if they are going to cause any sort of environmental pollution, then they will be liable for any sort of penalty which will be paid. So these are to do with your power of the central government to take measures and to improve the environment. And so with this we complete your first half of the chapter, wherein we have gone through the objectives, definitions, then the important definitions, what are the types of pollution, and the powers of the central government to protect this particular act. Now in your next video we will be moving on to your cyber law. Thank you for watching.